Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foojan.
Welcome to the Inner Voice. It's a heartfelt chat podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Foojan Zeine, a psychotherapist, an author, and the creator of the awareness integration theory. So thrilled to have you join me today. And I promise you're going to learn a lot because I did. We're going to have an insightful discussion about sleep, which all of you can relate to, right? You need it. We all need it and can't live without it. So in this episode, I chat with Dr. Khazaeizadeh. He's an internist and a primary care physician in Newport Beach, California. He graduated from Shiraz University of Medical Sciences and completed his internal medicine residency at Yale University Hospital in Connecticut. Dr. Khazaeizadeh possesses extensive professional experience and a strong background in teaching biochemistry and pharmacology. And he also plays a significant role as an editor and contributing author to several best-selling medical review books. In addition, he is actively involved in telemedicine and telecommunication and is the founder of Tavanas.com, Tavanas.com, which is a telemedicine company. We talked about the importance of sleep. What do you need to do to have a good sleep? What you couldn't do and shouldn't do in order not to have a good sleep. And all the tips that you actually need about your circadian rhythm, about chronotype, about what happens when you sleep, and why is it important for you to have all of those stages. So I'm sure you'll enjoy the conversation as much as I did. Now be sure to subscribe to this podcast, my YouTube channel, and connect with me through my website, foojanzeine.com, or any of my social media. Go and subscribe to Foojan app. You're going to have 32 areas of life. You're going to go through guided journaling and an AI chatbot, which answers any questions that you have from an awareness integration theory. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We've played around with it. We've asked it a lot of questions. Sirs, I promise you. So share your thoughts with me. I'd love to hear from you. And I want to know what your thoughts are. All right. Now, without further ado, here's Dr. Khazaeizadeh.
Listen up if you want to promote your personal growth and self-awareness. I found the Foojan app last month and I have been absolutely loving it. I personally have never learned guided meditation, but thanks to this app, I now have learned incredible tools for my own stress relief and emotional self-awareness. Not to mention, there are self-evaluation tools and professional coaching available to utilize however your journey to self-discovery takes you. Join Foojan today and redefine your life one step at a time.
Do you wish to wake up one day and hit the Life Reset button? Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want by Dr. Foojan Zeine, helps you navigate crucial life areas, heal the past traumas, and cultivate fulfilling relationships and careers. Life Reset is your guide to a profound journey to reshape your life. Grab your copy on Amazon or Audible now and embark on a path to a more joyous and fulfilled life.
Welcome, everyone. And it is so nice to have Dr. Khazaeizadeh with me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Zeine. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you're an internist, but you have this special relationship with sleep. Why and how come you got so excited about sleep?
I'm, as you said, I'm internist. I'm primary care physician. And in the last couple of years, I learned more about importance of the sleep and, importance of the functional medicine. If I want to put, 4 or 5 important things in our life, the first one probably is eat healthy. The second one is, exercise regularly. And the third one is sleep well, which sleep well is the foundation of the first two. And to be honest with you, it's probably most important than the first two. And the next one, I want to put mental health. I can divide it to, manage your stress and have a good relationship with people around you. So if you have all 5 things correctly, you're going to live longer, healthier, happier, with not much disability. But today we're going to talk about sleep, I think.
Well, the last two you said is not going to even be feasible if you didn't sleep, because when when you don't sleep, you're not going to have a good mental health. You're going to be agitated. You're going to have a less tolerance for everything, and therefore you're going to have less tolerance for anybody who's around you. Probably snap at
No, absolutely. And I'm going to add a few more things to it. If you don't eat well next day, you're not going to eat well, right? There's a couple of hormones go up and down, and then next day you don't actually going to have a good habit of eating healthy. And the other thing is next day, if you not sleep well next day, if you exercise, you're going to lose more muscle compared to lose more fat if you have a better night of sleep.
True, because the point is, if you're not sleeping, the next day, I know for myself, I'm constantly trying to boost my energy. So I drink a lot of caffeine, and then I drink a lot, I eat a lot of carb in order just to restore the energy, which is not good for me. And then, as you
Absolutely.
said, I wouldn't even be able to exercise because I won't have the energy to do that. And then, as you said, you're going to lose a lot more muscle. So the basic is we're going to put sleep at the top of all of these five elements that you said. Now, there's
Absolutely.
also all of these research that have shown up, about Alzheimer's, dementia, elder age, that how much sleep is important. And we get research, and I'm sure you'll go through all of those. We have research about, at a specific time in our sleep, there's a drainage, there's a cleaning up system. It's like, the garbage collectors come in, take all the garbage and clean it up. And it's so important to be able to have all of that. So there's the dreaming that happens in sleep that, it restores your memory. So there's so much that goes on while you sleep. Although you probably think that everybody thinks they're just gone, they're not part of life, but there's a lot goes on when you're asleep, and that's why it's so important. So can you take us about why is it that we sleep? What happens in the brain when we sleep?
Interesting question. Like if you asked me this question like 30 years ago, the answer was we sleep to cure sleepiness problem. So it's not true anymore. We sleep because everything happen in our body function much better when we sleep. Evolutionary, if you think about during the time we sleep, we don't do much, right? We don't go look for food. We don't go look for mate. We don't bring offspring. We don't do anything, right? If evolution was able to make the sleep go away, it was already gone. So natural selection was supposed to select it against if sleep wasn't necessary. Every cell in our body functioned better. So what happened during the day, we get up, we start like functioning after 15, 16, 17 hours. The pressure of the sleep goes up, sympathetic nervous system slow down, parasympathetic start working, toward our sleep, and we get sleepy and we need to go to bed to sleep.
Right. So a lot happens. Obviously, there's cycles of sleep that happen.
Correct.
So can you share a little bit about the cycle?
Sure. Cycle of the sleep is, 90 minutes. I'm going to divide that sleep to, REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and non-REM sleep. The initial phase of the sleep when you go to bed, when you lay down, the first stage is stage 1. And right after that is stage 2. That's a light sleep. The stage 1 is like 5 minutes. And if somebody is stage 1 and you ask him, hey, are you up? And they say usually, yes, I'm up. I'm not sleeping. It's that how light it is. And after that, we go to stage 2, which is still, light sleep. And then we go to stage 3 and 4, which they're like a deep sleep. And then we go to rapid eye movement. The rapid eye movement, the reason they call it rapid eye movement is your eyes under the, skin goes right and left, right and back and forth, back and forth. And that's only happen, after stage 4. And that's the dream sleep. So we have stage 1 and 2, 3 and 4 in non-REM sleep, and then REM sleep. Altogether is around 90 minutes, right? So, and this 90 minutes is average 90 minutes. Some people 70 minutes, some people 120 minutes. And usually if we consider, 90 minutes, we need to go through the cycle 5 times, and eventually we get up at the end of, cycle, which is the REM sleep. So as we go, if we divided the whole 8 hours that we sleep, for example, if we sleep 8 hours, the first 4 hours, we have more deep sleep. And the next 4 hours, we have more REM sleep. At the end of our sleep, we have actually 60-70% of our sleep are in a REM sleep. And at the beginning of the 4 hours, more deep sleep. And few things happen during the deep sleep that we need to have a deep sleep, and few things happen during REM sleep. So we need to have them both, and both of them necessary for us to survive.
I don't know if you've heard this. I keep hearing it from people around the world that people, for some reason, like if they slept around 11 o'clock, they have a natural way of waking up or between 3 and 4. And then they go back to sleep. Is there any research around why that happens? That there's something around 3 or 4 a.m. that there's like people actually get out of this sleep. And this is not for teenagers or young adults. I know the teenagers and young adults kind of go almost, if you don't interrupt them, they'll go to a 12 hours of very deep sleep. But somewhere around like 40, age 40 and up, I keep hearing this conversation about waking up around 3 or 4. Is there a reason? Is there a research around that?
So, few things. When we go through stage 1, 2, 3, 4 REM, after REM, we get up usually. We don't remember that. So you might get up like between 3 to 4 times during the night, but you don't even remember it, right? What happened is, especially in the last 10, 15 years, you hear that problem way more, especially in people age 35 to 50, right? And what happened is few things. Using technology in the wrong way, using alcohol, using caffeine, coffee, tea, all of them. So it makes your sleep more fragmented. And after you're done with your deep sleep, in a lighter sleep, you tend to get up more often. If your hygiene of sleep is not, very well regulated, you're going to have problem with few things: fragmentation of the sleep and lack of REM sleep at the end of the day.
And what happens when you lack the REM sleep? With some of the studies that I've read, is because the REM sleep, because it is going back and taking all the information that you have in the memory lane and putting it kind of, for lack of a better word, to putting it in good filing cabinets. It categorizes things. It puts it into perspective. It really builds our memory, it seems like, at that time.
Correct. Let's say if you want to learn something, right? So you're going to learn something new. So you read about it. It goes to part of your brain. We call it amygdala. And you need to have a good quality sleep to convert this memory to longer term memory. I'm going to give you an example. Think about amygdala, part of your deeper brain that you learn and information goes there, and it's like a jump drive with, so much space. When you go to sleep, especially during the REM sleep, that short-term memory transfer from that amygdala to your cortex and convert it to the, long-term memory. So you empty your information from amygdala to your cortex. Think about cortex, your hard drive, with a bigger capacity of the memory. So during the sleep, during the REM, few things happen. during the deep sleep, few things happen. Majority of our, garbage out things in our inside our brain cleans up during the deep sleep. So if you drink coffee or, too much anxiety you have when you go to sleep, and you don't go through your deep sleep in a right way, gradually this accumulation of toxic material happen inside your brain, and eventually you might get memory problem, cognitive problem, Alzheimer, dementia, all of those stuff.
Absolutely. Now, I think that there's also this conversation that has a lot of people debating about it and science. Do we need 8 hours? Do we need 6 hours? What is the best, hours? What are is it better for your gut health and sleep to sleep at 10 p.m. and then wake up, at 6 or 7, or, because people's circadian rhythm are different, right? Like we even have a different circadian rhythm when we're a baby, or then when we're a teenager, right? Teenagers kind of like shift. They can easily, I'm sure anybody who was a teenager or has a teenager, they get it. They don't sleep until about 1 or 2, and then they prefer to wake up around 11 and 12, although going to school doesn't allow it. And then after 50 and 60, it all changes again. So there's one angle of it is some people call it I'm a bat person, or I'm a rooster. I'm overall better, in the evenings, or somebody says, no, I'm an early waker, and that's what I do. So that's one angle of it. And then another angle is that it does change in the different phase of our life, right?
Absolutely. There are 3 types of, let's say, classification of the sleep. At the beginning of our life, when you're a baby, you're polyphasic, right? You need 16, 17 hours of the sleep. But you sleep, you get up, you sleep, you get up, you sleep, you get up. 1 hour, up, 2 hours of sleep, or back and forth, right? But then when you get to the age of 5, 6, 7, you're more like a biphasic. And then when you get to the age of like 18 and above, you're monophasic. I mean, some people like to stay biphasic with have a, 30 minutes nap. We can talk about nap, down the road, that's good or bad. But most people are monophasic. And how many hours is the right time? I mean, this thing's studying. Like we need 1/3 of our day to sleep. Adult, they need, 7 to 9 hours of the sleep. When I say average 8 hours, means you need to, stay in bed 8.5 hours in order to have 8 hours good quality sleep, right? So 8 hours for adult is what recommendation, between 7 to 9 hours, right? And for teenager, we need 9 to 11. And unfortunately, most teenagers barely they get 6 to 7 hours. And, then we're going to see these teenagers. I mean, I'm a primary care physician for almost 30 years. And I'm seeing teenagers come with the problem of sleeping problem, anxiety and all of that, which unheard of past, let's say 20 years ago, we didn't have such a problem that teenagers come with the problem of, hey, I have problem, anxiety or depression or sleep problem. And because of the type of technology, the way we engage with this type of technology, we have this problem.
Great. There's also this factor of other matters affecting your sleep, right? So, for example, we know that hormones, women who go through menopause, it
Right.
affects their sleep. We know that people who have depression or anxiety, it's affecting their sleeps. So what are some of your suggestions, knowing whether we have sleep like insomnia, because the chicken or the egg, is it the insomnia that is affecting and creating anxiety, depression, and or even hormonal balances, or is it kind of vice versa? Like there are all these other pieces which are affecting our sleep. Can you share a little bit about how to assess?
Few things is physiology. For example, if somebody is in a woman, if they have, let's say, the menstrual period and their cycle is 28 days. Usually at the day 14, we have ovulation, and that time temperature usually go up, 1 to 2 degree Fahrenheit, right? And bumping the temperature, when the woman is, mid-cycle, make their sleep not as good quality as the other days, right? And sometimes change in the hormone, for example, during menopause, you have hot flashes, temperature goes up, core temperature goes up. Core temperature need to drop down before you able to have a good sleep, right? Going up and down with all of these hormones manipulate your physiology, that your normal behavior physiology going to go off, and you're going to have, hard time going to sleep or maintaining your sleep. But I'm going to just differentiate between two things: sleep deprivation and insomnia, right? Most people, they come and say, oh, I can't go to sleep. But when I ask, more question, I learned that, okay, you don't give yourself enough opportunity to, go to bed for 7, 8, 9 hours, right? So you want to watch your Netflix, you want to go to your social media, you want to go out with your friends, stay out, fear of missing out, all of those. And then you don't give yourself enough opportunity because you need to get up 7 and go to work, right? That's not insomnia, that's sleep deprivation. And most people, they don't realize that they deprive themselves from sleep, right? And when it comes to the sleep problem or sleep disorder, like, sleep apnea or snoring, those are one thing that what we do for them. Usually we send them to, sleep study to learn what is your sleep look like. And then the other thing is some people have problem initiation of the sleep, or some people go to bed after 4 hours, get up, and they can't go back to sleep. So the problem here is maintaining your sleep, right? So, and we have to approach differently with, these people, that how can I help you to help you to go to sleep faster, or how can I help you to can maintain your sleep? Used to, we give them, okay, this is your Ambien, alprazolam, Xanax medication, go have a good sleep. But nowadays we change, at least I changed the way I approach to my patient. I started doing more, cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm asking more questions to learn about my people's behavior toward what they do, right? What time they go to bed. Is that the time you go to bed equal to your chronotype? You said something about, we have different chronotype. Absolutely. And some people are morning person, right? They want to go to bed like 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. And they wanted to, sorry, somebody calling me, I fixed that. Somebody wanted to go to bed around, 8 p.m. and get up 4 a.m. and start their day. They go to gym, exercise. Those are like an early morning person. And some people are neutral. They want to go to bed around 10 and get up around 6:30. I'm one of those people. And some people wanted to, go to bed around 1 or 2 a.m. and get up, around 8 or 9, and they start their job. And this is sort of 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in a population. And there's some easy way to figure out what is your chronotype. You actually can go to internet and search for morningness, eveningness, like questionnaire, MEQ. You can answer like 20 questions, or I can ask you a simple question. If you are in an island with no internet, with no light, with no responsibility, right? What time you go to bed? If I ask you, Dr. Zeine, if I ask you that question, what is your answer?
My natural sleep time is around 12:30, and wake up around 8:30. That's my natural. If I don't,
but if let's say if you are in an island with no responsibility, no light, no internet, what time you think you go to bed?
Well, I'm assuming if there's no light, that if the darkness starts around 7, that from 7, I mean, that's 5 hours. I probably go to sleep around 10 and 11. So probably 3 hours in the dark will be enough.
Sure. Usually people say that, after the darkness, 2 hours after that, you go. And if you think about midnight is middle of the night. By midnight, you need to have a few hours of the sleep. For people are neutral. But yeah, but the thing is, some people have different, chronotype, but because of their work schedule, they need to go to bed different time, and that's not helping them, especially with the couple. If there's like two couples, they're gonna go to bed at a different time, sometimes not gonna work with them really well.
Absolutely. And I know there's a conversation about what kind of light is there, or are you going to have your TV on, or can you have, completely have the place to be dark so that you could go to sleep. One thing that is very interesting is, and you shared it, and I've read it in all the research everywhere I've looked at, is that your body the room has to be cool so that, you can go fall asleep. And it's funny because for me, I have to be warm. So I always have some heated pad, something to make me sleepy and first go to sleep. But in the middle of the night, I wake up and I have to get cool. But at the beginning, if I'm cold, I won't go to sleep. So it's interesting that I'm completely the weird one in the room.
No, actually, you're doing the right way, because what you're trying to do, you're trying to drop your core body temperature. Warm blankets, especially if you make your feet and hand warmer, it make your temperature from your core body actually go out. And that is the best way. Some people do that and when you make the room cooler, you actually drop the core temperature. So we always advise, if you want to take a shower at nighttime, take a hot shower, right? In order to reduce the temperature from your skin, you need to do that. And then you can go to sleep faster if you do that.
So ways to improve your sleep is light, where it needs to be dark so that you don't have any type of television, cell phones, light coming. So a lot of people need that. You talked about temperature. The noise level, right? So it has to, I put in something in my ears where I cannot hear different types of sound that are around. So the noise level needs to be down. Talked about food. When do we eat where we could actually go to sleep appropriately, like 3-4 hours before?
Sure. So, sleep is not like a switch on and off. It's like you're landing a plane. You need to have a routine, right? Couple of hours before you want to go to bed, you dim all the light in the house, right? It's helped you so much. You have no idea how much dimming the light helping you. And then last hour, no TV, no social media, no phone, no iPad, no laptop, no nothing, right? You're not supposed to charge your phone inside the bedroom. No technology inside the room, right? So room need to be dark, need to be cold, as you said. What's usually 65 to 68 degree, 18 centigrade. Or 65 to 68, 69 Fahrenheit, and no noise. Try to be complete quiet and dark like a cave, right? And then food, 3 hours before you go to bed. Few reasons why we need to keep our glucose low. If you keep the glucose high, your body thinks you're awake and you need to do something. And the other thing is, if you eat and go to bed, lay down, we have something called GERD, reflux problem, right? So you want to avoid that. That's why you need to have last meal of the day, 3 to 4 hours before that. And then we talk about caffeine and alcohol if you want, right? So caffeine, if you drink coffee or tea, the last coffee or tea of the day need to be around noontime. So the best is have one early in the morning. If you want to have the second one, make sure before noontime, because there are few things with caffeine. A half-life of caffeine is 5 to 6 hours. Means if you drink a cup of coffee like that, and by midnight, you have 1/4 of that still going on in your system. It's like before you go to bed, you go to Starbucks and drink 1/4 of a cup of coffee. It's going to be not a good time sleeping, not a good quality of the sleep, right? Alcohol, same thing. Alcohol make your sleep sort of fragmented, and you're not going to have the last couple of hours of your sleep. You're going to lose 25% of your sleep at the end. That 25% equal to 70% of your REM sleep if you drink alcohol, and if you drink too much of the alcohol nighttime, right? And how much alcohol is okay to have? 0. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but that's a science. The best time of the sleep probably is early in the morning, right after your coffee. By nighttime, there's nothing in your system.
Yeah, and most of our socialization is going out to dinner and that parties, and that's when you eat, you drink alcohol. Sometimes even in restaurants, right after you're eating and drinking alcohol, the last piece is a dessert with a coffee, right, with espresso,
right,
or a hot tea. So then then after that we come home and about an hour and a half going to sleep. So you could see that, like you said, the cultural perspective that we're all used to is not in favor of the science. So the science tells us something, but the culture completely gives us something else. And I think that's probably why we have so much of sleep problems. So not only work schedule, not only technology, but also all of these other cultural perspective that habits that we do that are against really what our body is really needing to do. So
Absolutely.
So when we have a bad night's sleep, due to all the stuff we just said, how do you compensate for it? Is then taking a nap a part of the compensation?
You're not gonna like my answer. Do nothing. If you have a bad night's sleep, what should I do next day? Do nothing different, right? Business as usual. You need to make sure next day, start your day as usual. You're gonna be sleepy. If you going to have a nap, the pressure of sleep gonna drop down. So we have something in our brain called sleep pressure. You get up in the morning, something will accumulate in your brain, a peptide called adenosine. And adenosine go up and up and up. After 16 hours, the pressure goes enough high that puts you back to sleep for 7, 8, 9 hours. So think about that like a pressure cooker, and think about nap at the middle of the day like something that releases the pressure cooker pressure. So by the time you want to go to bed, you're not sleepy enough, right? So some people do naps, some people do coffee, but the best is to just try to do business as usual. Don't drink too much coffee. Don't do the nap. Try to do the best of your day in order to go back to next night of good sleeping. Otherwise, you're gonna go to this vicious cycle, right? So, and think about caffeine as like this. Think about your brain has 100 empty chairs, and this adenosine need to go sit on every single chair, and you're gonna have 100 chair. After these adenosine go sit on top of them, you're gonna go to bed and sleepy enough to go to bed. And if you drink coffee, caffeine goes sit on this chair, and they don't let the adenosine go sit on the chair. They don't block the receptors, but they just sit there, and they don't let you go through the normal process of sleeping, right? So the last thing you want to do is mess up with your adenosine pressure in your brain. There are 3 peptides: adenosine, melatonin, and cortisol. These three hormones play an orchestra in your brain during the day. Cortisol is high during the night, supposed to go down, and melatonin need to go up, and adenosine need to go up in your brain to finally let your brain to get sleepy and go to bed and have a good quality continuous 8 hours of the sleep. How many of us do that during the day? Not many.
Do you suggest for people to take supplements for melatonin?
Not actually. Some people take melatonin and they think they help them. Technically, it's a placebo effect, right? The melatonin is supposed to go to our brain. The melatonin we're taking as a pill, they don't pass the blood-brain barrier. So they can't get to our brain. So what is the placebo effect? You think it's going to help you? It's going to help you. Maybe, maybe not. But melatonin only help, the supplement that people take, only help with initiation of your sleep and only help 3 minutes or so, between 3 to 4 minutes, help you to actually go to sleep, but has nothing to do with maintaining of your sleep.
One of the things that I've noticed is that because of all the latest research that has been done on sleep, that there's a lot of technology, gadgets that are getting created to support you in sleeping. Not only some of the matters that you shared, but for example, I have a amazing friend, Dr. Rabin, who created this, which you put this on your hand and it vibrates, and it's called Apollo, Apollo. By the way, this is not my product, but I've used it for about 1.5 years, and it's fantastic. So what it does, it also puts you like, you could go to meditative state. You could, like what you said, right, about an hour before. You could even schedule it, will calm you down, and then you could put on sleep for 120 minutes. And you could keep putting it back. And what it does, it, shifts your, goes from like beta wave to alpha and then to theta and go to, take you to the sleep and whole. And I've seen another, which MIT had created, that you put it on your head. It's like a band that you put on your head, and it also affects some of these brain waves where, it induces, it supports you in induction. You could do meditation. You could do a lot of the behavioral aspects to induce all of these for yourself. Or if you're having insomnia or need support, to be able to induce with different types of vibration to take you to the sleep space and then hold you there as long as you need to. What are your thoughts about that?
What is the best, which of these technology are the best that we use? The best one is the one that you use it more frequently, right? If you have something called Oura Ring, use it. If you have like Apple Watch, use it. The one you mentioned, use it. Any other technology, if available to you and you can use it, use it. The one that, we want to go to bed and we're going to get rid of everything, right? Some people don't want to have something into their head or have a watch or wristband. Ring is easier for some people. Anything comfort you, help you to have a better quality, do that. But some people get so nervous because they use some of this technology and then they can realize how bad their sleep is. And they get way more anxious about, okay, this is not good. And every night they know they're not going to have good sleep. My advice is, do not use technology if make you more anxious. Only use this technology if help you to learn more about, your quality of sleep. For example, if you drink alcohol, before you go to bed, and then you can learn what alcohol does to your body, you want to cut down. You want to drink maybe earlier during the afternoon time instead of like later, closer to your nighttime, right? So if any technology can help you to understand more about your body, use them. Majority of this technology is out there. They're accurate enough. If you go to sleep study, and any sleep study may be accurate 85%, and most of these devices, they're like a 75% accurate. So good enough, give you enough information if you want to learn more about your sleep.
Absolutely. I know that you shared a little bit about psychotherapy and how it works. You shared about cognitive behavioral. Obviously, I created awareness integration, which has some cognitive and emotional perspective. So I'm going to toot my own horn instead of the cognitive behavior, but it does work, obviously, to not only to look at some of the behaviors that we do have that might not be necessarily working, but also, to regulate your emotions before you sleep and kind of create, the end part of the night where you could reflect and, get complete with a lot of the conversations, that emotional conversations, cognitive conversations that are there that you're not clear with. So, you could do journaling, you could reflect, and you could sometimes just clean up before you go to sleep, especially, anxiety hits right when you don't have any other stimuli and you're laying down and then suddenly all of this thought shows up.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's important to also journal, write
absolutely, and
write it down.
Yeah, reflecting is important, but if you want to reflect before go to bed, that's the worst time. You better reflect like maybe 2 hours or write it down. Your thing, but before bed, if people wanted to do 10-15 minutes meditation, that's the best. There's a technology called Calm. Some people use that, or some people go to YouTube and, download something they want to listen to. Some people listen.
Binaural beat music, which again uses the binaural beat in order to shift the brain waves, which really helps before that and moving forward. Dr. Khazaeizadeh, we're getting to the end of our conversation. Is there anything we haven't shared that you really, really want people to know? Any particular?
Right. If I want to advise one thing, it's regularity. Regularity is the king. Start with regularity. Go to bed same time, get up same time, regardless of the day. You learn so much about yourself when you do that, and you have much better quality of the sleep when you start with regularity, right? So have a good hygiene of the sleep, be regular, and work on your hygiene. You do much better.
Beautiful. Where can people find you?
I'm not very active in social media. Recently, I became more active. They can go to Instagram, just search my name, Ali Khazaeizadeh, or they can search me. I'm in Newport, my office in Newport Beach, California. They can, search my name. They can find my office, contact if they need to talk to me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for spending the time with us.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Zeine. Thank you.
And for all of you who are out there, create an amazing time for your life, for everyone's around you, for your life, and sleep well. Until next week, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, and decrease depression. Dr. Foojan Zeine's awareness integration theory has helped thousands like you get incredible life-changing results. The Foojan app gives you her evidence-based treatment in the palm of your hand. Download today.
Intentional Parenting, a practical guide to awareness integration theory, written by Dr. Jafari, Dr. Foojan Zeine, and Dr. Manoukian, 3 experts in human development, is your step-by-step guide to raising a healthy child prepared for a culturally integrated world. You're supported in parenting infants to adolescents using the latest evidence-based scientific research on parenting. Order your copy on Amazon now.